a trick. Now the camp is over. Okay. First question: how do you feel, especially comparing to the first time when you came to Hungary?
To the first time at all I came to Hungary.
You came to
yeah,
Hungary.
I feel really great. And yeah, since this is the second time, there is a huge difference between the end of the first time and the end of my second visit. I feel really good.
You feel relaxed, no tense, nothing?
Just what you build up from 4 days of training, but except that, I feel really good.
Do you feel you use your body?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's tell me a little bit about your background.
Started martial arts in the age of, I don't really remember, I think like 9 or something.
With age of 9.
Age of 9, yeah. With judo.
Pretty early.
Then went into point fighting, kickboxing, semi-contact kickboxing back then, or all-style karate it was called, I think. And from then, by the age of 14, something like that, I started Wing Chun, Loing Ting lineage. Changed later by the age of like 18 to another Wing Chun system, or Wing Chun I think it was. And from there I, at one of the seminars of this first of this Loing Ting Wing Chun lineages, I met somebody who introduced me beside the seminar to Filipino martial arts, and this always interested me, and then I got an opportunity to learn in 1995 and started training in 3 systems there for more than 20 years.
That's a lot of time.
At one point when I in the second go did my high school diploma and finished my university and started working, I had less and less time to train such a complex system, so I oriented more towards like combatives, which is like really small methods, and which takes only a small amount of time to maintain and to learn. But by that it is lacking also a lot, because obviously you can't teach a lot of stuff, only the most essential things, whatever this person considers the most essential in a short time. And one other person out of the combative circle introduced me to the concept that internal martial arts might actually work in real application, which I always discarded up until then. I forgot I did boxing quite extensively too. And so from a boxing background, you are looking at like what you consider internal martial arts, like Tai Chi or something like that.
Exactly.
And you think, no way, you will stand there like 10 seconds in the ring with me or something like that. And but this guy introduced me to concepts. I don't know if he ever did internal martial arts himself, but all these concepts sounded very internally, and through pure coincidence and a talk with a good friend of mine, I heard the name Chow Gar, which I never heard before. Actually, it was like this January, essentially. I looked around in the internet and had a look at several things or several outlets on YouTube and Instagram, and stumbled also over MyChowGar, and had a look at the videos you guys were posting on YouTube, and compared to everything else, it looked like the most like detailed and focused explanation what you are actually supposed to do, and not just some out in quickly stuff without much of an explanation in the videos, even if they were supposed to be instructions. So I enrolled in your Get a Taste course, and
you're here now for the second time. It's very interesting because obviously you have a lot of background experience And also, it's very interesting to see that we have in the course many people having very similar background, like Eskrima, like other combative systems, and so on and so forth. But they are still searching for something, and that's also, in some cases, my question that we are roughly at the same age, and then what you're looking for, because someone who has combative experience knows the cons and pros of the combative systems or combative martial arts on that kind of approach. What makes you search for something else? Especially considering the fact that usually internal martial arts now, the image of internal martial arts is very, very low, and the people usually think that they are used less good, maybe for health or maybe for some coordination movements or meditation or things like that. But originally these martial arts were supposed to be fighting systems.
The thing is this. As we both know, physical strength and joint health and stuff doesn't improve with age.
yes, unfortunately, there's a decline when you start feeling it. Yeah, and
the chance of injury just gets higher and higher.
Yeah,
also with age,
you cannot recover and things like that so easily. Yeah,
physical stress and all that stuff. So I was interested, as I said, through this other guy who has this internal approach. I was really, really like surprised how much power you can get out of almost invisible movements, which I didn't believe before until I felt it. Not seen it, felt it. Because see, you can a lot of stuff, and it can be faked. But if you feel that,
physically you can touch it, you can have a hands-on experience that makes a difference.
So I was mainly interested in the power generation, and in something that is not so like dynamically orientated, so I can keep that up for a longer period of time. And then from like a mechanical engineering standpoint, when I learned boxing, I realized some major joints, some turning angles, even some strength vectors. But for example, the whole trunk was in my idea considered like a block. You moved a block, and I was very intrigued that when I saw that in these systems the spine is used like a joint, which it is, and like a spring which can store potential energy and give out dynamic. And so this was stuff that drew me to it, and I want to experience myself, and with your training, and you fall in love more and more with the different aspects in the system which you didn't consider that important or interesting in the beginning.
In the beginning, exactly. And then now I come back to the question that, okay, so you started to look for internal things because you had this experience with this guy who could basically explain it to you that it actually can work. And then you were looking for something which is you can practice longer in your life. You don't have the stress that you can be injured, or you have to maintain or sustain some kind of big cardio sessions, which puts a lot of stress on your joints and your body, which actually after a while you cannot keep up. It's not sustainable. And then you have an idea, okay, this is what I want to find or seek, and then you came to Hungary. And you rolled into a course there. You can also have an image that what's happening, and then how it correlates to what you experienced here, to what you had as an idea, that what you found or what you want to do, or what this might be.
I had a rough idea about it, and I wasn't too far off, but as I told you the first time I visited you and you asked me the question, the amount of power you guys can produce, especially in these exercises like Chai Sau, really surprised me. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any image in my mind that I can, like.
I'm not even talking about that kind of image in
um,
general, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, okay, yes, since power generation is one of the main aspects of this system, and as you said, internal qualities. So how it fits into your internal vision? What you see here, is it what's compared to physical, and what usually people think of internal, which is, let's say, more soft or much more invisible, or how this stands for you as now after, let's say, half a year of practicing.
It is. I mean, I saw it to some degree from the videos on YouTube, but it is. It has a very physical component.
Yes,
yeah,
sure.
a very physical component, but in a different aspect that you would get like from weightlifting or something like that. And I like the idea that through this physical component you are getting in touch with the internal work, and don't do something which you like cannot like strength-wise test so easily, and imagine some energy flowing in you, and then essentially you don't have this.
You don't have to do this. Yeah, exactly. It's really, just to make it simple. As I told you here in the camp, since we were discussing a lot about these qualities, that you have to go through physical improvement, because without a stable physical quality or status or body state, you cannot turn into an internal work. So we are approaching internal first on a physical level, and then you turn more and more into internal, which actually means how you how you build up your body mechanics, and then start building up internal through a lot of power and stamina work, and then it turns into something which from outside you cannot really see, but it's working, and the other one feels it very heavy or powerful. And actually that's what we are doing here, and then we use it for combative or for fighting purposes. Okay, as I told also to Luis and Rodrigo, I'm happy that you came. You put your effort and focus into the training here.
Thank you for having me here.
And I'm happy to see the improvement. Even in these few days, there's a big difference between the first day and basically the last day. And as we say, that there's no shortcut. Unfortunately, unfortunately, you have to work it out. You have to put energy in it. You will actually suffer when you build up your physical and start to work on your internal. But that's the only way we can offer to anyone who comes here. Patrick, thank you very much. And
thank you.
See you soon.